or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Thank you. All right. It does not, there is a proposed judgment in the file, but is there an agreement at this time between the parties? No?
Okay, there's been no conversation over 100 days, so.
I have a PPO. We cannot legally speak to each other.
I understand. I understand. Well, let's begin the trial then. What will happen is I will call the plaintiff first to place information on the record. The defendant has the right to cross-examination of the plaintiff that he's questioning. And then whatever proofs the plaintiff wants to bring in, she brings in. And then at that point, she'll rest. Then I'll turn to Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas can present his proofs. So with that in mind, I'll begin then with the plaintiff. And you've been sworn. Ms. Thomas, would you please state your full name for the record?
Danielle Nicole Thomas.
And you are the plaintiff in this matter, is that correct? Have you lived in the county of Huron at least 10 days in the state of Michigan at least 180 days immediately preceding your filing of this complaint for divorce?
Yes.
At the time you filed this complaint for divorce, was Mr. Thomas also a resident of Huron County?
Yes.
Is it true that you were married on July 17, 2020 in Bad Axe, Michigan by a person authorized to perform marriages in the state? Now, the complaint doesn't indicate when you stopped living together. At the time the complaint was filed, the parties were living together. I'm assuming since the personal protection order attorney, you have separated from Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, so I filed the complaint the morning of May 9th. Because I filed that complaint, he did some other things, and because of those things, I did not return to his house at all after that.
All right, so what date do you believe would have been the 10th, did you say?
The 9th.
Okay. And prior to the marriage, your last name was Slater, S-L-A-T-E-R?
Yes.
And your husband has always been known as Brandon Lee Thomas, correct?
Yes, questionably, except for when he was a child. Like, I believe he had a different last name.
Okay, but he's identified as Brandon Lee
Yeah.
Thomas, correct? Are there any minor children of the marriage?
No.
Are you currently expecting?
No.
I have to ask that.
God, no.
You've alleged in your complaint for divorce that there's been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there remains no reasonable likelihood the marriage can be preserved. Was that true at the time you filed the complaint?
Absolutely.
Is it still true today?
Absolutely.
In your own words, very briefly, can you explain to the court why you feel the marriage cannot be preserved?
There is no, first of all, there's no real relationship here. We cannot get along with each other. We cannot trust each other. We cannot be around each other without having problems.
Right.
It's not ever going to happen that way.
Is there any chance of reconciliation?
Absolutely not.
If the court did not grant you an absolute judgment of divorce, would you be willing to resume a husband-wife relationship?
No.
All right. Now, this marriage is a little over 4 years, correct?
Yes.
And with that, during the marriage, I'm assuming property was acquired during the marriage. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And let's begin first with any homes. Are there any homes or real property, anything like that?
No.
Okay. You don't own a home?
No, and the home that he owns was years prior to me meeting him.
Okay. I don't want to go to the address of it. I'm just going to give the number 5066. Is that the residence? All right. And so that being that it is his home, I'm assuming, or maybe I'm wrong, it doesn't sound like you're interested in any interest in this home.
No, not at all.
So the real property located 5066, that is the home, the land that the home is on, would be awarded to Mr. Thomas free and clear from anybody.
Yeah.
And any indebtedness, is there a mortgage on the home if you know?
There's a defaulted land contract. What the situation with that is now, I have no idea. I have nothing to do with it.
Okay, so you're not on the land contract now?
No.
All right. So obviously the real property would be awarded to you. Is there any personal property of the marriage that you are requesting?
Yeah, there are a few things.
Go ahead.
There are a couple of things of my father's that were borrowed to us. A fishing boat and the motor that goes along with it. My dad's 3 kayaks, and then I would like to get my son and I's 4-wheelers as well.
How many?
There's 2. One of them is a little KO. I believe it's a 125 or a 150 kids 4-wheeler. The other one is a Polaris Sportsman full-size quad.
What was the first one?
It's a KO. It's like a
How do you spell that?
KAYO.
Okay, not familiar with that. Oh, all right. So let's begin first with the fishing boat. You said the fishing boat is your father's?
Yeah, so the fishing boat and the kayaks were all loaned to us. Nothing was given to Brandon because he is Brandon. They were because of me.
Okay, so let me just stop you for a moment. A fishing boat has to have MC letters and numbers on the side of it to be on the water.
Yes.
MC and then some numbers and letters. If if I were to get those MC numbers and run the registration of that boat, whose name would it come back to?
It should be my father's. It's not been registered. I'm sure he has changed that. I'm surprised he hasn't done the same with my car.
Please just answer my question.
It should be my father. The last I know it was my father. The boat was given to us to be torn down, to be refinished because the flooring needed to be replaced so that the whole family could use it.
Okay.
He tore it apart, never put it back together. So it shouldn't be registered to anybody other than my dad or possibly my uncle.
How large of a boat is this?
It's like it's just a little 14-foot fishing boat.
And how long ago was it, in your words, loaned out to the church?
Last summer, the summer before.
And what about the motor for that motor? Is that the motor that was on it when it arrived from your?
No. So actually the motor was in my father's basement where it had been for years. Brandon was told not to take it. And he actually went over and took it out of my dad's house anyway without permission. So we were never even supposed to have this boat motor.
Okay. What about the kayaks?
Those were loaned to us numerous times. We would go get them to take them out on the water, take them back. This last time we just didn't happen to get them back to my dad's house yet. That's why they're still on his property.
The two four-wheelers. First, the KO. When was that purchased?
I believe on my son's birthday of last year. I think it was the day of his birthday. It was my son's birthday present. We paid half and my dad paid for half.
How much was the KO?
Right around 2,000, maybe 2,200 total. I don't have any of the paperwork to have exact numbers.
And you stated that you and Mr. Thomas paid half, and then your father paid the other half.
Well, yeah, my dad gave us $1,000 cash to put towards for my son's birthday.
Okay, and was that treated as a loan or a gift, or what was it treated as?
It's a gift to my son.
Okay. What about the Polaris?
That was purchased for me since we've been married. You can shake your head all you want. There was two.
Speak to me. Don't focus on Mr. Thomas.
So there was two quads that friends of ours had. The one that we purchased was purchased to be mine. I used it. I took it trail riding. The other one he was going to purchase for himself and he just never ended up doing that. I believe that quad ended up getting sold to somebody else. But the one that he does have was mine. It was purchased for me.
Okay. And you said it was purchased last year. How much was the purchase?
No, the Polaris was purchased, I want to say in 2021.
Oh, okay.
It's been a few years.
All right. And how much was the purchase price of the Polaris?
I want to say that one we paid $2,000 for as well, maybe more.
All right. Are there any other assets, marital assets that you are requesting?
No.
I'm assuming you're requesting the personal property currently in your possession.
Yeah, my car. That's all I have.
Your clothing, jewelry, and effects.
Yeah, anything else that he has, I have no interest in having at this point.
Okay, what type of vehicle do you have?
A Dodge Durango 2014. That is titled and financed in my name only, and in my possession.
And when did you make that purchase?
January of last year. January 3rd, 4th, 5th, one of those days.
Okay. And you said that Mr. Thomas is not on the note.
No.
All right. So have we covered all the assets?
Yes.
What about debts?
There's only one, well, I guess maybe there's another one, but the only one that I'm super worried about, so on May 9th when I left, I have the petitions and stuff here. He had me petitioned to be taken to the ER for a psych evaluation because he was mad that I filed for divorce. I was there for less than 30 minutes. It was a huge waste of time, but I now have a $586.26 ER bill that was not covered by insurance. And I would like that to be paid. And then I don't have the bill on me. I think it might be in my car. But he had my car for a week when I first left, refused to give it back to me, had a fit that he had to put insurance on it. Come to find out, he did that because he can't afford insurance in his name, so he put his trucks insured under my name as well without adding himself as a driver. And then he let his 15-year-old unlicensed driver of a daughter drive the other truck, and these have been insured under my name for months. And they're sending me a bill saying that I owe them $188 for that insurance policy as well.
So, any other vehicles other than the Dodge Durango, you're stating would be Mr. Thomas's property?
Yeah, I don't want his cars.
Any credit card debt?
I don't have any. What he has, I have no idea.
All right, any debt in both names?
No,
And you wish to have your previous name restored as Slater, is that correct?
yes.
Are there any pension, annuity, or retirement accounts?
No, neither one of us has any of those.
Any life insurance that carries cash value?
Not that I'm aware of.
Anything else you wish to add regarding any property, effects, anything like that?
No.
All right. Sir, do you have any questions?
Questions as far as what we just spoke about?
Yes. Any questions relative to a divorce proceeding?
Yeah. On May 9th, well, it'll be May 8th, Tuesday afternoon, we had an argument in the vehicle as we were driving down the road. And she was asked numerous times over and over to stop the argument, stop the screaming, stop the swinging at me in the car. We got back on our way back home as this was taking place. She stood up in our vehicle and swung at my 15-year-old daughter. Physically. Because my daughter was pounding on the back of the seat, asking her to stop, you know, effing stop, effing stop. She was tired of the swing.
His daughter was punching me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, miss. That's, I've gotten your testimony, but I need to hear a question, though. I'm asking if you have any questions for this individual. First, you'll have the opportunity to speak as well.
Okay. First of all, how do you feel the Polaris is yours when it was purchased for the business?
It wasn't purchased for the business. It was purchased for me to go trail riding.
It wasn't.
Just because you refuse to buy business equipment is not my
It
problem.
was purchased through the business.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Okay, no, I don't want to hear an argument. You have questions you can ask, just simply ask the questions.
One of my questions is, with your diagnosis of your bipolar,
I am not diagnosed bipolar.
I
Assumes facts, not an evidence.
have pictures of for bipolar medication that is still at my home.
Do you have pictures of a paper
Wait.
saying I'm bipolar?
Miss, please stop. You have to just simply answer the questions posed by Mr. Thomas.
I am asking, we had a great marriage. We did a lot of things together. We traveled together. We went to Florida when my mom was almost dying. And you proceeded to get off your medication at the end of February. And you went downhill from there. Did you not sit in bed for 2 months straight and do absolutely nothing?
No, I went to work and I did my school work and I came off of medication with the assistance of my doctor, who prescribed me numerous doses to taper off of a medication that even he said he did not believe I actually needed.
Okay, well, again, excuse me, both of you, just a moment. That's hearsay. Unless the doctor is here to testify, so the court's not going to consider it. Next, secondarily to that, plaintiff has filed for divorce in this matter. Michigan is no fault divorce state, which means you can divorce for whatever reason you wish to. It can be because it's Thursday. That's all the reason you need.
I understand.
However, unless it involves, and if she's requesting it, and the court finds that there's been a breakdown in the marriage relationship, that's all that needs to be shown. Then the next step is how do we divide whatever assets and debts are found. And because it's no fault divorce, if she's requesting it and she establishes that, the divorce will go forward. But if you have anything relative to the property, anything relative to real or personal property, that is, that's fair game. Now, about medications and the reasons for the breakup and all of that, it's essentially not relevant because if the plaintiff alleges a breakdown, that's all that needs to be established. And we've been asked in the past, well, why can't you just order counseling? Why can't you just go to meet with someone and talk about this? Well, that's why I asked the question, is there any chance of reconciliation? The plaintiff said no. If I did not grant a divorce today, would you be willing to resume a husband-wife relationship? And again, the answer was no. So that's how we have to proceed.
Okay.
But if you have another question, sir, go ahead.
As far as the boat, how do you say it was not given to me? When I pulled it, your dad told me to come and get it out of the weeds of your aunt's house.
To be fixed so that it was usable by everybody.
That was not the agreement. It was just to get it out of the woods at your aunt's house.
No, because my dad works a lot and he doesn't have time to do projects like that. You agreed to fix it so that my son could be taken out fishing and so that everybody could use this boat, not just for you.
This boat was acquired and given to me over 4 years ago.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
It
Okay, we're not gonna go
absolutely
back
was
and
not.
forth. Excuse me, we're not going back and forth. If there's a question, simply answer the question posed. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, another one of my questions. I've asked you and asked you and asked you over and over for the last 3 years that I've been on every HIPAA piece of paperwork, every psychologist appointment, every doctor's appointment, everything that you ever needed. And I've been there because you requested that. The day that you filed these divorce papers and then the falsified PPO order, I have never hurt you. I've always taken care of you through everything.
Is this a question?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, what is the question?
what is the question?
The question is, and partial statement, is I know you're going to therapy and I've been asking.
Because you follow me.
Excuse me.
Please, I just need a question, sir. You're not asking a question, you're providing a narrative. Which you'll have an opportunity to do once the plaintiff rests.
I am trying to lead to the question.
Please do.
I am well aware my wife is going to therapy. I also have been going to therapy. My question is, why cannot we not sit down and at least go over the grounds of what went on, try to figure something out, talk about something?
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be near you. I want nothing to do with you. And we have talked about all of this probably hundreds of times over the last 4 years. You will not listen to anything anybody says. You will not change your mind. 50 people can tell you that I'm not coming back and that this is never going to be solved. And for some reason, you will still text them back and say, oh, I just don't believe that. So why am I going to go sit in therapy with you? For what? It doesn't get us anywhere.
A lot has changed.
Good for you. I have also changed.
Miss.
I'm over it.
This is
Excuse
why-
me, miss. We don't need the tone. We don't need the tone. We just need to have you simply answer the question.
I thought these were supposed to be about property. This doesn't seem like it's about property.
Well, but again, sir, as I've stated, if the plaintiff requests it and she shows that there's been a breakdown, that's all that needs to be established. That's it. So any counseling or therapy or anything that you're requesting, if the plaintiff does not want it, or
She can't make a decision, Your Honor, when she's in a manic state.
but that's not.
She's off her medications. It's been brought to my attention that she's been doing other things.
Okay, but again, that you'd have to have a doctor come in.
And I'm working on that.
There's no probate court here, no probate court order saying that she needs a guardian or conservator.
Working on it.
There's
Of course you are.
There's nothing like that at all before the court. I have nothing other than her request for the divorce. That's all I have.
I believe until the interviews are done
What interview?
with HBH and TNU. I'm working on those as we speak.
All right. Well, today's a divorce trial.
And I've asked for it to be postponed until further so we can get some of this stuff taken care of prior.
Why is it relevant to a divorce proceeding?
Because this is all being done with misdiagnosis, not being on medications. She's in a manic state. She's doing things like yesterday, I got followed for 7 miles down the road.
I was driving home from work. He just so happened to end up in front of me.
Okay, again, I'm gonna need your perspective.
There's a lot of things, a lot of elements to the situation that need to be addressed. I am working on those. I have to sit with Karen at HBH, who's the supervisor over there. I have a meeting with TNU coming up.
What's that?
From narcotics unit.
Okay.
I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, today's a divorce trial date, sir. We have to proceed.
Okay, and I'm asking for it to be postponed 30 to 90 days so I can get these things taken care of.
I would love to do a drug test right now.
Again, please. Your request for adjournment is respectfully denied. There has to be a good cause in requesting this. There's nothing in this record to indicate the plaintiff is not competent to file the proceedings that she's done in this case. You're making allegations that there are medical diagnoses. But that's hearsay, sir. You need to have the doctors and you need to have the individuals come and testify. Today's the day for it, sir. I'm sorry. Your request for an adjournment is respectfully denied.
This doesn't make any sense, Your Honor. I just sit here time and time again trying to talk to you and explain to you what's going on. And every time I do, I get shut down.
I'm not shutting you down, sir. I'm allowing you to speak. What I'm telling you is, under the rules of evidence, there must be a foundation to admit this information into the record, which you've not done.
Okay, this is what it is. For 5 years, I have taken care of this woman through and through. She's been on multiple trips. She's been given everything, right down to the $1,500 phone that's laying on there. The car that she purchased or has, I paid for the down payment and reimbursed her father because we didn't have the money because it was the first of the year and the banks were shut down. And I had to go to her father to get her a car in an emergency because she totaled the last one I purchased. That was $4,000 that I put down on that car and I reimbursed her father. As far as the KO four-wheeler, it is sold and gone. I purchased
Selling
that.
marital property.
I purchased that myself with my name, my business card, everything.
What's the name of the business?
I own Tri-County Law and Stone.
Which I could come after too, but I'm not because I just want this to be over.
All right,
But if you want the divorce.
excuse me. Tri-County Lawn and Snow, is it registered to Tri-County Lawn and Snow? The four-wheelers?
No,
What name was it registered under?
mine.
Okay, go ahead.
As far as the Polaris, it was also purchased from a friend for the business because it has a big plow on it and I plow snow. It was going to be used as a utility vehicle to take care of my properties that I take care of. As far as riding it on the trails, yes, I've had multiple machines, I've had dirt bikes, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, all that stuff, snowmobiles, years, I do a lot of trail riding. That's my off time, that's what I like to do. It was specifically purchased for the business, but she wrote it. I had another four-wheeler that I could ride, plus I borrowed one from my friend all the time, like she was talking about, and we would go trail riding. As far as the boat, it was given to me by her father almost 4 years ago when we lived at my father's residence. The boat has been torn apart into many pieces because the floor was rotten. It's been worked on. Not until it started last summer, we started working on it. My daughter's boyfriend and I. It's still not finished. He gave it to me. He didn't want it no more. He buys stuff all the time, uses it once or twice, and gets rid of it. I mean, he's given me a drone. He's given me this. He's just given me all kinds of stuff, just cuts. As far as the boat motor, I asked him once we were in the process of trying to put the boat back together. The motor was put in the basement because it was fogged and gone through, so it was winterized. And it sat down there for years, and I told him, you know, we're getting the boat put back together. Can I get the motor for it? I was told, yeah. So my daughter's boyfriend and I went and picked it up over 2 years ago. Nothing's been said since then. So the boat was given. As far as the kayaks, those we use all the time. She wants the kayaks, she can have the kayaks. I don't really care. I'll drop them off at the local police department. It was just something that my wife and I and the kids went out, we get the kayaks and go. That was it. That's all it was. But as far as owing her anything, any past debts, anything like that, this woman has not worked very much more than her current situation. She would work 2 to 3 months, quit, and if she worked those 2 to 3 months, they would be, 1-2 days a week. Everything that she needed, from clothes to feminine products to you name it, I paid for it through and through. So I don't owe her anything. I mean, the house I got before we got together, I purchased her first car for her and put the down payment on that she totaled. So as far as the four-wheelers and the boat, I don't believe she has any jurisdiction. First of all, the boat has nothing to do with her. That is a discrepancy between her and father and I. So if he has an issue, then we can discuss that. As far as the four-wheelers, I purchased those.
They were purchased during the marriage, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, they're marital assets. How much did you sell the KO for?
$1,000.
Who was it sold to?
JC.
Who's JC?
Friend/business
No,
client.
I'm excuse me, I'm asking Mr. Thomas.
Started as a business client, turned into a friend.
What's the individual's full name?
I can't tell you that.
You said JC. Yeah. And the title was switched to
There was
JC.
no title. Same thing with the players. There's no title.
Okay. The Polaris, how much was that purchased for?
$1,200.
Now, the plaintiff says it was 2,000, maybe more.
She's incorrect. I bought it from Kyra Nicole Woodruff. It was her grandfather's I bought it from her. They were needing money for Christmas presents. I had the extra funds at the time. I made interest because I used to work on it many times. I did all the maintenance to it, brakes, oil changes, take it back to them. They ride it, they beat on it. I get it back, I fix whatever her husband messed up on it, and again, we go. It was just a friendship back and forth. She needed money. I bought it. I knew I could use it for the business. Got a hitch on it. It's got a dump box. I spread fertilizer, sprays, plow snow. That's what I purchased it for. So it's an asset to the business. She just rode it in the summertime on the trails. Twice, 3 times. So it's not something that she used every day. Anything like that. It was just, I have, like I said, I've got multiple 4-wheelers at the house that I've got a Yamaha Kodiak 400 4-wheel drive that we use also, that has a plow. I have a side-by-side that has a plow.
Was that purchased during the marriage?
None of that stuff was. But the Polaris was solely purchased for the business. So she has no asset to that as far as that goes. She just believes it's hers and it's not.
Okay. What about the insurance bill, $186.88?
That was an insurance policy that we had together before she separated.
No, it was not.
Yes,
Miss?
it was.
Miss, I'm asking the question.
I can
So
provide-
did you place, for instance, all these vehicles in her name?
They were all placed on the policy.
Right, but who are the vehicles titled to, though?
Both of us.
Both?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
There are not a single vehicle that has both of our names titled.
The vehicles are titled individually, but they're both of our vehicles, my truck, her car, so on and so forth.
So the insurance policy she's talking about, is that the policy that you obtained?
No, that was already obtained.
Okay. But that amount would reflect pickup trucks, not the Durango.
That's all of our vehicles.
Everything?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem paying $186 if that's a problem. I'll send her a check.
Anything else you want to add?
As far as these, this $600 supposed bill that she got from being picked up, I don't think I'm responsible for it due to the fact that she swung on my daughter and I told her to either get help or I have to do what I have to do because I have a custody case with my daughters and I don't want to lose, I don't want my ex-wife finding out that she's swinging on my kids. There's, nothing. So I didn't know what to do at the time. I sat here and broke down and cried in the hallway before I turned the papers in because I didn't want to do that to my wife. It was the worst decision I ever made, and she still does not understand that. My point is, I've done everything I can to try to help her, and I'm still going to continue to try to help her. This is not my wife. This is not how she normally acts. This is why I asked for the counseling. I know what my wife needs. This court does not know what my wife needs.
I have a PPO.
Excuse me.
Mind your business.
Miss, it's his time to speak. Go ahead, sir.
I have tried extensively to understand what's going on. I still don't know why she just got up and left at 8:30 in the morning and told me at 11:30 in the afternoon I'm getting divorce papers. At that time, I was already getting these papers to get her help because I have been at every medical, therapist, doctor's appointments. I've been on Zoom meetings. Why? Because she's asked me to go to these. And I've been there for every single one of them. Every time she's done a medication change, she can clearly understand that I stood there and cried with tears in the doctor's office. And I told her,
Mr. Thomas, focus on me.
It's going to be a roller coaster ride when we go through these medications, and I'm here for it. And she again crying, thank you. So, because I'm there for her going through these. Now, Dr. Rossman is not a licensed physician to take her off these meds that she's on and was on. And I know you say it's hearsay, but I have spoken to many people that have seen her since February when she started coming off these meds. Their demeanor changed and everything. She sat in bed for 2 months. She said she was working. She may have worked one day. She quit her job. She got my daughter hired at the same place and quit her job. And her boss was like, I don't even know why she's quit. I don't know what's wrong. Nothing. And then I said, she's off her medication. I'm trying to get her help. I'm trying to get her back on them where she's supposed to be. I'm trying to get her into counseling. I'm trying to help her. I have done nothing but try to help this woman her entire time that we've been together. And that's why I am begging and begging and begging for the counseling that she has refused to go to, but now will after the fact that we split. And all I'm asking is to mutually sit down in a room and talk to each other, figure out what's going on, and try to resolve anything. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I understand that, but I'm still trying to do that. The other thing is I want to see my stepson, who I've raised since he was 2 years old, who has called me dad since day 3. I want visitation with him. I want to be able to see him, provide for him like I have in anything that he needs, from sports to school clothes to anything. I lost a son 21 years ago. And I regained one 5 years ago. And it tears me apart every day that I cannot see this boy and help him get through what's going on. She says he hates me. He doesn't. I've been there for that boy through and through. And I want to fight for visitation for him. I don't care if my blood doesn't run through his veins. That's still my boy.
Anything else?
I don't know what to say anymore at this point. It's just, this has been blown so far out of proportion because of lack of communication. And this is where we stand. And it's wasting the court's time because literally this could have been solved if we sat down and talked like two human beings. Like we always have. We've been through many, many of problems. From her biting the end of my thumb off to throwing knives, all kinds of stuff. And I've been there and I've stuck through by her side because I know it's not her. And I am asking and begging the court to understand where I'm coming from. And I'm basically begging for help for my life. She sits here and she acts like she is and throws this huffing and puffing attitude. This is classic of what she does when she's upset and doesn't like confrontation on anything. But the mediation of sitting down, I don't care if it's at HBH, here with a court officer, anywhere, to be able to sit down and try to reconcile some of this stuff. We had a 5-year marriage. We did everything together. We were locked at hip. Anywhere we went, we were together. Everything we did, we were together constantly up until the day she left. 6 months ago, Your Honor, we were talking about having reversal surgery so she could have a baby. That's what I'm saying. You don't understand how her coming off her medication and doing all this stuff has really affected everything. It's just, this is all done in a manic state and anger. That's why all this is being done. But when she doesn't want to accept what she's done or take into consideration what she's done, this is where we're at. It's ridiculous. There's no reason that we can't talk. Other than she says she doesn't want to. But medically, this is what needs to happen. I have documents to prove that. I've also talked to the school superintendent, who is her principal, who has documents to prove her actions from when she was 14 years old all the way to current day. And he would be willing to give those to you also.
All right, thank you.
So that's why I'm asking for it to be adjourned, so all this paperwork can be brought forward. And we can have, I would like a site evaluation assessment done on her before the divorce is finalized, to be honest. Because I've been through so much with her, and I know this is not her. It's just not. My wife is a very loving woman.
Ms. Thomas, I've afforded opportunity for father to speak. I'm sorry, husband to speak. Ms. Thomas, are you willing to sit down with Mr. Thomas on his request to mediate this?
Absolutely not. He literally
Okay,
just
I
said he
don't-
wants to
I
get
just-
guardianship over me.
Excuse me, it was just a simple question. That's all I'm asking. Now, I have to ask you another question. Is there anything affecting your mind or brain making it difficult to make important decisions?
No,
You have a clear mind.
yes.
You're stating this under oath.
Yes, I am starting school full-time on the 24th. One of my classes starts, the rest start on the 26th. I'm literally starting a new second job today.
Okay, very well.
I'm trying to get my life together. Unfortunately, somebody has taken every single thing and years of my life away from me, playing this insane control game. And yes, now it's not the easiest. I'm trying to put it back together, but I'm living with my father and my brother. If I was having that serious of an issue, don't you think my own family would recognize that? Not someone I have a PPO against that is legally not allowed to be near me.
Well, again, this is the time for trial. Both parties are to bring forth information, evidence for the court to consider. And I've considered all the testimony here. And as I've stated before, you can file for divorce because it's Thursday. That's how it works in the state. There's nothing in the record to indicate to the court that the plaintiff is not competent as a witness in this matter. Now, I say father and I apologize. Mr. Thomas claims to have information that he can provide to the court regarding documentation of medical condition or mental condition relative to the plaintiff. That is hearsay unless it can be established by the individual who wrote that information to indicate whether or not that is the case. And that's not here before the court today. I've already ruled on the request for adjournment of this matter, and I stand behind my ruling. But I have to move forward. Plaintiff has asked for a divorce. He has established, based upon the testimony here before the court, that the statutory grounds for divorce have been established. So the court finds that the statutory grounds for divorce have been established. And therefore, a judgment of absolute divorce is granted to the plaintiff, Danielle Thomas, from the defendant. There are no minor children of the marriage. Mr. Thomas is requesting visitation with his stepson. The law does not allow for that. The law only allows for that if he is the father of the child. There's nothing to indicate anything other than a stepson relationship for approximately 5 years, which Mr. Thomas finds very significant. And I understand that. However, he does not have parental rights relative to the stepson. Now, neither party in this case will be awarded spousal support. There's nothing in the record to indicate that either party is entitled to spousal support. Both are able to be employed. One owns a business. One is starting a job and going to school. There's nothing in the record to indicate that neither party, nor was it requested for spousal support. Regarding the property in this matter, this is approximately a 4-year marriage. Marriage was in July of 2000. Try to have this right. July of 2020, July 17th, as a matter of fact. The plaintiff is awarded assets currently in her possession, other than what I will describe in a moment. Mr. Thomas is awarded all the assets currently in his possession, except as stated here in just a moment. However, neither party is entitled to any pensions, annuities, or retirement account if the party has them. There's no life insurance carrying any cash value, so that need not be addressed. But relative to the personal property involved, first, the fishing boat. The fishing boat is a 14-foot boat that, according to the plaintiff, was provided to the parties from plaintiff's father. And regarding that particular boat, according to the information provided, that the floor is rotting and it was a matter of repairs and getting this thing up and running. It doesn't appear that there's a lot of cash value to the fishing boat because, again, you have these issues of the condition of that boat. And also, I'm accepting Mr. Thomas's testimony that it was pulled essentially out of the weeds and provided. So the fishing boat remains with the defendant. However, the boat motor that was placed in the basement a little over 2 years ago was awarded to the plaintiff. The 3 kayaks, as mentioned, Mr. Thomas said he had no objection to turning them over. They are the plaintiff's father's kayaks. They are returned to the plaintiff. Regarding the 4-wheelers, first beginning with the KO 125. Plaintiff is requesting that 4-wheeler. Defendant is saying it was sold. There is no question that the KO was purchased during the marriage of the parties. According to the defendant, according to the plaintiff, that has a value of at least $2,000 to $2,200. Defendant stated that really the value is $1,000 because it's sold to someone named JC. The proofs have been entered, and as a result of that, obviously, according to the sworn testimony of the defendant, he doesn't have the KO. And as a result of that, that is indeed a marital asset. It was acquired during the marriage. And as a result, $500 is to be awarded to the plaintiff for the half of the value of the sale of that 4-wheeler. It was acquired during the marriage. Regarding the Polaris, plaintiff said $2,000, maybe more, for that item. It's a 2021. In 2021, defendant states it was $1,200. I don't know which. However, accepting both values of $2,000 and $1,200 and taking the average of the two, that would indicate $1,600 as the value of the Polaris. It was acquired during the marriage. Now, it was used, it appears, primarily for the business, no question about that. However, it was also used by the plaintiff for recreation as well. Again, because it was acquired during the marriage, the plaintiff is awarded $800 for her value, marital value in that 4-wheeler. So $800 to the plaintiff. But the 4-wheeler, the Polaris, will stay with the defendant, but he has to pay the $800 for it. The Dodge Durango is awarded to the plaintiff free and clear from any claim of the defendant. All the pickup trucks and all other property motor vehicles relative to this case awarded to the defendant. So in other words, whatever vehicles you currently have in your possession, you keep. The ER bill 586.26, apparently that portion was not covered by insurance. That is a marital debt. Plaintiff is entitled to half of that ER bill. Regarding the insurance policy, 186.88. Plaintiff states that's just for the pickup trucks. Defendant states it's everything, including the Dodge Durango. 186 in this matter will be divided in half. So $93 is awarded to the plaintiff. That covers the assets. Finally, the plaintiff is restored the surname of Slater, Slater. Any questions regarding this judgment first, Ms.?
No.
Sir, any questions regarding the judgment?
Yeah. As far as the Polaris four-wheeler goes, I can provide proof of what I paid for it. It was $1,200.
Right, I took that into account.
Okay, so I don't know why I went to 800 because half of 12 is 6.
Well, plaintiff said it was 2,000, maybe more.
No.
So what I did was add the 2,000 plus the 1,200 divided by 2.
Okay, I have proof of what it was. Second of
Well,
all,
but you didn't provide that to the court during the trial.
well, I don't have a $10,000 lawyer to know what I have to bring and what I don't have to bring.
Well, I'm sorry about that, sir. I
But
just
the
have to
other
go with the
thing-
evidence that's presented.
The other thing is, she didn't put into accountability that I paid $450 on an electric bill that she had shut off the next day.
I still owe them $700 and I'm not even arguing with him to pay that, and that is entirely for his property.
Our home when you live there.
That bill was over
Okay,
$1,000.
No one brought up the bill during the course of the trial. Whose name is the bill in?
Mine.
You're stuck with it.
I know, I'm not even gonna argue. Didn't even bring it up.
You're stuck with it because it was not brought out during the course of the trial. The proofs have been entered. Do you have any other questions?
How much do I owe her?
Total appears to be $1,393, $800, which is half of the average value of the Polaris, $500, which is half of the value of the KO that was sold. I accepted your testimony. And then $93 reflecting half. Yes, half of the 186 for the insurance.
Even with the insurance being paid for 5 years by me, and now she's worried about $186.
Well, that's the outstanding bill that's out there right now. You're entitled to pay for half.
So I gotta give her $1,400.
$1,393 to be exact. When do you think you could provide that to her?
It's gonna be a while.
Can you do it within 90 days?
No.
When can you do it?
Too many other bills to take care of right now. Business is slow.
I know how the business works. He should be very easily able to pay it by January or February once snow plowing starts.
That's accurate.
6 months?
How can I give it to her? Do I gotta give it to the court? Can I send it directly to her? Cashier's
Well, that
check?
could be a violation of the personal protection order.
Which I'm going to continue to fight.
You're entitled.
Continue to violate it as well.
Oh,
Excuse me.
Miss, I don't need any commentary. I was asking if there was any questions regarding the judgment. That's what we're addressing. So what we can do is we still have what can be done, and the court will allow this then. The $1,393 can be paid in the form of a cash or check within 6 months to plaintiff's father because the motor has to be returned.
Okay.
So we can do it that way. But again, when you exchange the motor, the kayaks are returned, all that, just keep in mind that personal protection.
Well, I'll have PD present with me when that happens regardless, so
That's
there's,
probably a very good idea.
How should we go about handling that property exchange? I
I will
will
contact
not
her
go to
father.
his property. I will not be there. I will not be present whatsoever. However, because of the way he acts, my father and my brother are really not willing to be near him either.
I can't order either side, but I would highly suggest that there be a civil standby where law enforcement is there. Just as was mentioned by Mr.
That
Thomas.
was my request.
By doing so, it'll be safe.
I'll meet him at the police department. I don't care.
Very good. And that's what we'll do. Any other questions regarding the judgment?
With this judgment being stated, and also you're aware that there's a PPO order involved. She states that she's supposed to be starting a new job. I'm not aware of where this is. I really don't care where it's at, but I want to at least know that it's not at one of my contracted locations.
And I have no idea where.
Can that question be answered?
Well, first of all, I'm not telling you where I'm working,
That's
but
not
no,
part- That's not part
I'm
of
not
the-
asking you
it's
if it's.
nowhere near.
Excuse me, folks. Again, I'm being respectful. I have to be, but that's not part of the divorce proceedings.
Well, it's part of the PPO and I don't want a violation for me going to work.
Absolutely agree, but
That's
the
why I'm
PPO is not
asking.
before the court right now either. It's not before the court. So if there's an issue with the PPO, either party can present a motion.
I'll find out.
Okay. That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
The judgment will be prepared by the court, and once that judgment is signed, that will indicate that the parties are officially divorced, and we will proceed from there. Thank you. I'll think you maybe bring that down. Prior to going on the record, the court did inquire off the record of Ms. Risky's status of the matter. And as I was advised, and the defendant was not in the court at the time, however, I was advised that there may be some property issues involved, and that's why we're here for purposes of today's proceeding. It was the understanding initially that an agreement was reached. There may still be an agreement, I'm not sure, but I was advised that there may be some testimony that may need to be provided. Ms. Risky, is that a fair statement of our conversation?
That is wrong.
Did the court say anything about what the court was going to do regarding disposition of this file, or try to curry any favor with the court by our conversation?
No, Your Honor, actually, I was the one who advised you of that, and you just said, are you ready to proceed? And I said yes, and then here I said, there was no conversation with the court.
All right, thank you. So you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'm just going to provide to the court proposed exhibit, certified copy of the deed for the home located in Seaway. That was the part of that, just to get that off. Take care of that. I don't understand.
That's just merely the deed.
That's merely the deed, but it's been certified by.
All right, what is the understanding regarding the disposition of the marital home?
Well,
The
it's
home.
not the marital home because it was purchased prior to marriage and it was his solely. I'm doing it for the record.
Okay.
And since the certified copy is authenticating, do that.
Are you asking for any interest in the home? Okay, simply put, we'll have it marked in minutes, -1.
And I would call Patrick Golan.
All right, you can say right there.
Oh, he's here now. Can you please state and spell your name for the married on April 14th of 2023 to Amanda Sharp?
Yes.
Her name prior to your marriage was Amanda Sharp, is that correct?
Yes. Can you spell the last name?
Sharp or Gold?
No, the main name.
Sharp, SHRARPE.
Stand by a moment. Deputy, is there an issue?
No, are you good? They told me that you called over.
Yes, I did. That case just ended.
Okay.
Stand by.
Yep.
Anything going on, folks?
He violated my PPO 3 steps out this door by threatening me.
I didn't do anything. I'm gonna try to walk faster.
Well,
Can she leave and I leave?
but if you want to file a complaint, contact law enforcement. I can't be involved.
I went to the sheriff and they sent me to the Bad Axe Police and they sent me back here.
I'll stay here.
They said they have to pull the hallway cameras to prove it and then file a complaint from there.
Okay, then that's what they're going to do.
So who do I talk to?
You contacted Bad Axe Police Department. They'll follow through with complaints. Stay in touch with them.
Okay,
Okay?
will they though? Because that doesn't seem to be happening.
You know how to reach them. Contact them if you have any questions.
Do you want me to escort them out separately?
Yes, please, and that'll take care of the matter. Thank you.
Yep.
And sir, if you wouldn't mind removing your cataloging purposes. Thank you, unless it's religious purposes. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay, thank you. You've been a resident of the state of Michigan for the last 180 days prior to filing the complaint for divorce, is that correct? And for the 10 days preceding the filing, you were a resident of Huron County, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you and the defendant cohabitated together as husband and wife from approximately August to December of 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
There are no children of this marriage, and to your knowledge, is the defendant pregnant?
Not that I know.
Okay. And in regards to some property, you have a home located at 17 Charles Miller in Seaway, is that correct?
Yes.
And that was your home prior to marriage, correct?
Yes.
You do have any retirement accounts?
No.
Any life insurance accounts?
No.
Do you have vehicles in your name?
Yes.
Okay, were those vehicles titled exclusively to you?
Yes.
Did you acquire any marital debt?
Yeah.
Did you acquire any marital assets?
No.
Okay. We were before this court previously for a temporary relief motion in regards to your home in Seaway, is that correct? Yes. And that was at the end of May of 2024?
Correct.
And this honorable court ordered that you would be allowed to return your home after 30 days, is that correct?
Yes.
And on July 1st, 2024, you had went back to the marital home, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you go to that home alone?
No, I took officer with me,
Okay, and what was the purpose of taking officer with you?
just because I didn't want any issues.
Now, when you had been able to obtain access to your home, did you notice that was any type of property damage or property missing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So upon your review, there was a mattress missing, is that correct? There were curtains and the toaster missing?
Correct.
An air fryer and a Blackstone grill and air fryer combo, is that correct? There was hygiene products such as a new platinum toothbrush, correct? Various decor items like Halloween, Christmas, and clocks and such.
Correct.
There were multiple knives missing.
Yeah.
Like collectible items. Bath towels, is that correct?
Yes.
The extra set of keys to the vehicle that you drive.
Yes.
There were multiple electronic devices that were missing.
Yes.
Did that include a Wii, a PlayStation 5?
Yes.
Okay. Were there also security cameras missing?
Yep.
Brand new ones?
2 of them.
And there were multiple tools that you showcased that you use, like a
3/4 inch impact.
yes, and there were missing air conditioners, is that true?
Correct. 2 of them.
There was missing decor and towels from the bathroom, is that correct?
Just took all my towels.
And there was missing storage benches and folding steps from the kitchen, is that correct?
Yes.
Missing Roku boxes.
Yep.
Missing pool stick. Missing one of your garage door openers, is that correct?
Correct.
There was an iPhone, iPad radio that was missing, is that correct?
Correct.
Rodent repeller,
Correct.
your heated jacket with battery.
Yep.
Your new work boots that were still in the box were missing.
Still brand new.
Your minor son's bike was missing.
Correct.
Your TV soundbar.
Correct.
Your electric air compressor.
Correct.
And that is something that you had received from your grandmother on her
Grandmother just
passing.
passed away.
So that has some sentimental value to you. There were missing fish poles and reels.
Yeah, and tackle boxes.
And were the tackle boxes full of tackle?
Oh, yeah.
And was that tackle cheap?
No.
And there were multiple missing tents.
One was a sleep-in tent, and the other one's a pop-up canopy that I just received from a Perkins mud bog last year from Florida that were sitting next to us.
And was there a screen tent also?
Yeah.
Were you missing multiple things for your outside animals?
Yes, my leashes, everything are gone.
What about a 50-foot high visibility extension cord?
Brand new extension, that's missing too.
5 cubic foot chest freezer?
Yeah.
What about a garage dolly?
Yeah, just like a dolly cart.
Okay, but that was also something that you had received from your father who is now passed?
From my stepfather. yes.
Stepfather? And that also has some sentimental value to you?
Correct.
There was a Bluetooth speaker?
Yep.
Okay. And the replacement value to replace all of these items is on the low end about $7,500, is that correct?
Correct.
Now, all of these items that I had just listed off, were those yours prior to your marriage to Ms. Gola?
Correct.
Now, when you got into the home, was the home in good condition?
It was sickening, and it almost made me throw up. An officer that was there, he turned around and walked right back out.
Okay. Now, there are multiple issues with the condition of the home, is that correct?
Yes,
You've had to do some extensive cleaning.
very much.
You've had to bomb the home for police.
5 times.
There is ruined carpet in multiple rooms of the home.
Well, just mainly the living room and 1 bedroom upstairs, but the tile floors are trashed.
That would be in the kitchen, the bathroom, and the mudroom.
Yes,
Okay. There's also some damage to a wall.
the door, the dog,
Or the door.
the dog ate through the door.
Okay. And replacement value at a minimum, just to replace the materials for the carpet and the floor, would be about approximately $1,500.
Correct.
And that's just for the materials, correct?
Correct, that's not labor.
Right, because you would be the individual who would do the labor, correct? But you also work full-time?
Yes.
And I'm gonna show you some of these, show you this stack of pictures. Let me back up. So when you got back into the home, did your home have a lawn?
Yes.
Okay. Was the lawn taken care of?
Yeah, she had her boyfriend do it. Brandon right there.
Okay. So that was the only thing that was taken care of was the outside?
Yep.
Okay. Now, how much time did you spend cleaning the home?
Well, I got back in there July 1st and I just bought the house last weekend again, so I'm still, you know,
Did you open the microwave?
yeah, moldy pizza,
And what did the house smell like?
smell like dirty diapers, feces. There was 5 kitty litter boxes full of moldy cat crap, feces.
Was there animal feces just directly on the ground?
Oh, just right on the living kitchen floor, in the corner, on the other side of the table.
I am going to show you a series of pictures. You recognize these photographs?
Yep.
You took all of those pictures, Mr. Gola?
Yes.
And you took those pictures when you returned to the home on July 1st, is that correct? I provided a copy to Ms. Gola. I provided a copy to the court, and I'd asked for the court to admit it as one exhibit.
Any other foundation?
So there are pictures of his home that he took personally, and that he took them on the day that he had returned home. Mr. Gola, do these photographs accurately depict what you had witnessed when you
When I
went back
walked
to the
into,
home and
yes,
took
ma'am.
photographs of these?
Yes.
There's.
Sorry.
Any objection to the court looking at these photographs? Those are admitted, those marked as plaintiffs too?
I just wanted to do one.
No, that's fine. No, I have no problem with that. I just want to make sure for the record they're marked for you. Plaintiffs too, all the photographs are admitted.
Mr. Gola, it is your desire to seek a divorce from Ms. Gola, is that correct?
Correct.
And so if the court were to not grant this judgment of divorce, would you go back to living as husband and wife? Okay, and there's no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved, repaired by any means, is that correct?
Correct, never should happen.
Okay, so in regards to a property, what you're seeking here today is, I mean, the real property that you own was yours prior to marriage, that any bank accounts in your name and solely in your name and solely in Ms. Gola's name are going to be awarded to each of you, correct?
Correct.
That whatever vehicles that you have in your name are going to be awarded to you and hers to her, correct?
Correct.
And there is no marital debt to discuss, correct? So whatever debt you have is yours and whatever debt she has is yours, correct?
It's hers, yes.
Yeah, it's hers. Again, and there's no life insurance and no retirement, correct? And you're asking that the court not award any type of spousal support and bar that forever, correct? And you're asking that the court provide a monetary judgment for the replacement of the property that Ms. Gola took that was premarital property, is that correct?
Yes.
And you are seeking a judgment for not only the replacement value of the property that was taken, but the materials to repair the home, correct?
Correct.
As well as making sure all of the time and effort that you've spent on the home this far to repair it and to continue to repair it, that you'll be able to have that.
Correct.
And you're seeking the sum of $10,000, is that correct? Thank you, Your Honor.
You said $10,000?
Yes.
I heard $7,500 for replacement of the property and $1,500 regarding materials.
Yes. Which would give us $9,000, but that is just materials. He will have to do the labor on his own. Which he's going to save a significant amount of money by doing that, but he has to go and do all of that. And he's already had to do the cleaning, etc.
Okay.
And that would be the reasoning for the other.
Very well. Miss, do you have any questions of Mr. Gold?
No.
All right. Any further proofs?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gold, what do you say about all this?
I say that there are certain things that happened, yes, from me, but not all. The last 3 weeks, I was not able to stay in the home because it was infested with bats.
Okay, well, let's go first to the personal property that was listed. There's a myriad of property here, including mattresses, toasters, air fryers, Blackstone, platinum toothbrush, clocks, knives, bath towels, keys to the car, PlayStation, all this stuff. Do you have this property?
The only things that I have the garage door opener, this extra set of keys, and I did take the mattress because I paid for half of it when we got it. Other than that, I don't know who was in and out of that house in the 3 weeks that I was not there.
So that we're clear here. You did not take a toaster?
Toaster, yes, I took toaster.
Did you take the air fryer?
Yes, because it was mine.
Did you take the Blackstone?
Yes,
Did you take the platinum toothbrush?
no,
How about the clocks?
no,
Collector knives?
no.
Bath towels?
I took my bath towels.
PlayStation 5?
Nope,
The security cameras?
no.
Tools, including a 3/4 impact?
Why would I? No,
Air conditioners?
I took my air conditioner that I had bought.
One air conditioner?
Yes,
How much did you pay?
I don't remember. I bought it for my apartment when I was living in Bay City.
Other than your towels, did you take any of his towels?
No,
Okay, I'm just asking, please, I'm not being disrespectful.
no, but some of them did get thrown out possibly
By who?
when just moving and stuff.
You mean you moving?
Yeah.
I see. Storage benches?
I took one that we got at a garage sale.
How much did you pay?
I don't know.
We already talked about the garage door. How about iPhone, iPad, radio?
That he purchased from a garage sale for my son.
You took that. A heated jacket,
Nope,
work boots,
nope.
a bicycle.
The bicycle, yes, I did take.
Whose bike was it?
It was his youngest son's, but he had been letting my son use it, and his son is too big for it.
A sound bar? Air compressor?
No,
Fishing poles, tackle box,
I took my fishing pole, did not take tackle boxes.
tents,
I took the one that we got from the mud bog or whatever it was.
so you took one of the two.
Yes,
How about outside animal products like leashes? Those
I took one leash.
50-foot extension cord,
No,
a chest freezer,
no,
a garage door,
no,
a Bluetooth speaker.
no.
Do you have the opportunity to see those photographs in exhibit 2?
No.
Let's take a look.
Oh, look how bad. Yes,
You've had the opportunity to see those?
yes,
Okay. You moved out of the home when?
the 17th
Of July or June?
June.
June 17th. When you moved out of the home on June 17th, all the property that I had asked you about, the mattresses all the way to the Bluetooth speaker, were those items in the home at the time?
Yes, while I was grabbing my stuff, yeah, they were. As far as I know, I don't ever remember seeing a chest freezer.
Okay, so you're stating that when you moved out on June 17th, these items were still in the home,
Yes,
other than this chest freezer?
yes, as far as I know.
Did you ever return to the property after June 17th?
Yeah, just moving my stuff.
Okay, so even though you may have moved out on June 17th, you were going to the property afterwards?
Yes, because I could not stay in the house any longer because of the bats.
Okay, so when was the very last time you were in that home?
The 29th?
June?
Yeah.
On June 29th, all the items that I mentioned, from the mattress, well, we know that you said you take the mattress, so essentially from the toaster to the Bluetooth speaker, were those items still in the home?
To my knowledge, yes.
Did you actually see them?
Well, I didn't look directly at them, but as far as I know,
All right, and you're stating for the record under oath that you never took any of these items other than what you stated earlier.
yes.
The items that you have heard through the questioning this morning, Were those items purchased during the marriage or was this before the marriage? Do you have any idea?
We have been together 8 years on and off, so most of it has been before we were married, yes.
So, for instance, the toaster, air fryer, Blackstone, I'll just start right from there. Were those Mr. Gold's before the marriage?
No, well, yeah, I bought him the Blackstone grill as a present, which he used maybe 3 times.
Do you have any explanation as to why it's gone?
I had to borrow money for a down payment to get into a place. I needed money to do that, so I sold it.
Oh. Who did you sell it for?
It was, I think I got $350.
Did you sell any other personal effects to get this down payment?
No.
What about the air fryer?
He bought me an air fryer and then my aunt had bought me one. There were 2. I took mine that my aunts had bought me.
Any of the items that I've mentioned, just so that I'm clear, that we're asking about, from the toaster down to the Bluetooth speaker, you don't have any of those items in your possession?
No.
Okay, just want to be clear on that. You've looked at those photographs?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the property around that time frame?
It didn't look like that when I was there, but I did leave his cat in the house because it was his cat, and his cat stopped using the litter box. So I was having to purchase pee pads all the time to keep the floors clean. And since I wasn't going to be there, I don't know what he did after I wasn't there. But I couldn't take the litter box and not leave one for one cat.
So when you look through these photographs, for instance, the first photograph appears to have flooring materials removed. You see that?
That was my puppy. My dog did eat the tile in there and the carpet. Like that line there.
Okay,
in the
so
doorway.
the first set of pictures and the
The hole in the door was not my dog. That was his dog years ago.
But the duct tape we see on the carpet.
Yes, that was to try to keep her from stop pulling it out.
Okay. Trying to wait. So it would be page 3, exhibit 2. You see the flooring there?
Yes.
Is that from your puppy?
No, actually, that was from the cats. And that was prior to all of this, because they would get stuck in the bathroom and they would pull out the door when we weren't there.
Picture 5 has the carpeting. What do you attribute that damage to?
Just the cats clawing.
Not your animal, right?
It was all of them,
All.
yes.
And the next set of pictures, again, one has part of the carpet there with no trim. And I'm not sure what the second photo. Oh, that's a bathtub that appears.
Yes.
Can you explain what these photographs are? I mean, I know they're off, but how this pertains to this case.
That was just normal wear and tear from, there was nothing there holding that down. And
then we have a bat at the bottom of the picture.
yes, they were everywhere.
Next set of pictures, again, flooring without any trim.
Yep.
Can you explain that?
His cat, who refused to use the litter box.
Next set of pictures, again, flooring. Here's where something may have been placed there, and then here's that there's.
That was a mat for the cat's water dish.
What about the bottom picture?
Garbage. I didn't sweep it, so he must have swept, put it in a pile just to take a picture.
Next set of pictures, I'm assuming that is moldy pizza.
Yes, I may have put pizza in there and forgot about it.
Okay. And then it appears to be what I'll call the dish that would be normally in the microwave. Is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay. And did you leave the home in that condition when you left? Or did
I
you-
might have, I didn't even look in the microwave.
Okay. Next set of pictures depict some sort of storm door.
Yeah, that was a brand new screen door that he put on last year, and we had to get a new one because the way he has it on, the wind catches it and it breaks. Well, it did the exact same thing the other one did. I tried to put it back on like 3 times.
Next set of pictures shows the exterior of the home. Well, one set, well, the first top picture. Can you explain what that is?
Drill cabinet?
No, the one above it. Here's the outside of the outside door there.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be.
That'd be the screen that the dog chewed up.
Oh, no,
I can
actually-
follow up with that. What you're looking at, I think what you're seeing is that's where the security cameras were that are no longer there.
You don't agree with that, Miss?
No.
Okay. What about the curio cabinet?
That just had my knickknacks in it.
Next picture, obviously, I'm assuming this is the missing mattress.
Yes,
I'm assuming bottom picture is just debris left in the room.
in the room that was my son's, but that looks like it was before we redid it.
Next picture is appears to be a pickup truck.
My aunt's.
Okay, that's your aunt's truck. Do you recognize the location of where this photograph is taken?
Yeah, right out front of the house.
Oh, I see. And then, for whatever reason, a
A bag of cans.
bag of cans. And I'm assuming the next series of photographs, is that a snake?
It is a snake, and I don't even know what that was.
Did you have a
I-
snake in the home as a pet?
We had 3. That one was his, and it had something on her neck, and I've never handled her, so I couldn't, I don't know what it was.
Kratom capsules?
Yes,
Whose are those?
mine.
Next is appears to be a photograph and then language regarding someone's mother.
It's one of his pictures that sits on the entertainment center. Looks like it got knocked off and broke.
And the next set of pictures would be the grass area outside.
Yes,
The Goodyear tire and this red. Whose vehicle is this?
his truck, I'm assuming.
That's not your.
No, it says,
Any idea what this next set of photographs would be?
dirty kitty litter boxes.
That would be the next final page as well, correct?
Mhm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, the very last picture is it was a tank for snakes. I think I had mice in that one.
So plaintiff is claiming that all these items are missing and they believe the fair value of it will be $7,500. How do you respond?
Well, I don't have that, and I don't believe so.
Okay, but how?
I disagree.
Okay, you disagree. What do you think it should be?
I think I don't mind replacing the flooring parts where my animal destroyed. Like the tile in the mudroom.
Well, what about the alleged missing property?
I don't know. I had nothing to do with that, so I don't know.
Anything else you want the court to consider? Anything you want to testify to?
No.
Further questions?
Just a couple. You had said that you had also had cats in the home, is that correct?
Yeah.
You had 5 cats of your own?
4.
4 of your own? Okay. And your testimony was that Mr. Gola's cat refused to use the litter box, is that correct?
Yes.
So then the multiple full boxes of kitty litter that you had left behind were exclusively from your cat?
No, he used the litter box to poop, but he would not pee in the litter box anymore because he had gotten a UTI.
And when did he have a good UTI?
Well, I think actually he had it before he left, and I had mentioned to somebody to let him know that his cat needed to see if something was wrong with it.
Okay. And so you had said you couldn't stay there for the last 3 weeks, correct?
Yep.
You really believe that you moved out around the 17th, is that correct?
Mhm.
Because of the bats?
Yes.
Okay, and so who did you call about the bats?
Nobody.
So you didn't let anyone know that there was a bat problem and that you were gonna be leaving the home? the way
I
that-
mean, I told everybody there was a bat problem. That's why I wouldn't go stay there.
But you did not reach out to my office in any way, shape, or form, correct?
Correct. Why would I?
Well, my question to you would be, you could no longer stay at the home after the 17th, but you left food out and you left the animals there, correct?
For the most part, yes.
And you did it without alerting anyone?
Yes.
Did you take all your animals when you had vacated the home?
All but one.
And did you leave a snake or a duck or which one?
I left a snake.
How many times were you back to the property removing your items?
I don't know, almost every day. I work, so I had to do it when I had time.
I don't have anything further, Your Honor.
Anything else you want to add? No. I'm going, court sua sponte is going to call Mr. Gola. Mr. Gola, when was the last time you were at the residence before the personal protection order was entered?
Would have been right after I got out of jail to go get clothing.
Your Honor, there is no personal protection order, there's just a no contact.
Or no, the no
order.
contact, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Thank you. Do you know what date that would have been, sir?
Would have been like the 28th, 29th of December.
He was allowed back one time after that, too.
Were you allowed back another time after December 28th or 29th prior to the order granting you exclusive use of possession of the home?
Say that again.
Were you there any other time after December 28th or 29th, but before you had been given exclusive use of possession of the home?
Yes, Officer Rathke and I went there to get some of my winter clothing, work boots and stuff. That's when I realized my PETA jacket was missing.
And when was that you went into the home?
I had to say end of January somewhere.
2024? Yes. And when you went into the home during that time frame, these items that you are claiming are missing, were they there at the time?
Yeah.
When you returned to the home, when did you return to the home and discover these assets were allegedly gone?
Well, when I got back in July 1st, I noticed a lot of it in the home. But as I was cleaning, I had to go out to the garage and try and find cleaning supplies because she took everything, and that's when I started realizing. So it took me about 3 weeks to realize everything that was missing. I mean, there's probably still more that I don't even realize because I have too much stuff, honestly.
So is it your testimony then that after July 1st, though it may have taken a couple weeks, the items you've described were no longer there?
Correct.
Do you have any information to indicate that the defendant has them?
I mean, she was the only one there. You know, she already admitted to selling the Blackstone, and you know, we tried to contact her. Jessica tried to contact her weeks before the 30 days was up, and she wouldn't reply. I tried to have the officers contact her the weekend of the 30th. She didn't reply. So
Nobody tried to contact me.
So after July 1st, all the items you've described were missing, correct?
correct,
You claimed they were there when you were together.
correct. I have receipts for half of them.
How do you arrive at around $7,500?
Just a guesstimation of prices. I mean, I got receipts, so I got receipts on most of it. But then like my tackle boxes, they're full. I can't put an estimate. I just put $500 down for that because tackle's expensive. It's probably well more than that because it's 3 tackle boxes, but.
So you said a guesstimate, but when you look at the receipts you claim you have you tallied those up?
Yeah.
And are they available for Ms. Gola to see as well?
Well, can I just explain, Your Honor?
Sure.
What we have is just an estimate of, I mean, we did a rough, like when he went through with a rough estimate, you know, the estimate was about 9,500 for the replacement of the property, but we went with, it was used, it was whatever, so we had reduced it.
All right, but I did hear your client say that he has receipts for about half.
Correct, yep.
So when you tally those receipts up, what do you come up with?
For $2,800, we have like physical receipts for, yes. But that's assuming that it's gonna be the exact same price.
Sure. Do you have any, so what are you guesstimating on other than these receipts?
So the 2,800 in receipts, Your Honor, the majority of that would be the receipts for the carpeting and flooring replacements. That's where we had come up with that $1,200. Like, because we could pinpoint how much we had paid for the carpet.
Okay, well, I'm talking about personal property.
Well, that's why in the personal property, what we have is I can tell you we have a receipt for it. We have a receipt for an air fryer, a couple Roku boxes, the 3/4 inch impact gun, the sound bar, the PlayStation 5, the Bluetooth speaker, the chest freezer, and then the other ones are for like the carpeting and flooring replacements because he is.
I didn't hear any testimony regarding missing Roku boxes.
I didn't say that.
I didn't hear it, so if you did, I missed it. But those receipts total what amount? Air fryer, Roku boxes, 3/4 impact, soundbar, PlayStation, Bluetooth, chest freezer.
Oh, there's also a receipt for a clock, Your Honor.
Okay.
The clock that you bought me.
1326, Your Honor, is what we have in the personal property, and then the remainder would have been for like the flooring stuff.
And that was $1,500. I'm sorry.
1,200 for the replacement of the flooring, but I mean, there is more in receipts, but because there's like, we're not trying to like pay for the entire kitchen floor or the entire mudroom. Like we're trying to limit that, and that would be the same reason that he would be making sure that he is the one that does the labor, so we don't have to go hire someone to do that.
So
that would be
the total you're requesting, is it $1,500 for that? Or $2,800?
for the
Flooring.
no, the flooring. The flooring would be $1,500 for the replacement. And then the replacement value for all of the property that was missing was $75.
Of which 1326 would be the receipts.
Correct. I mean, this was a short-term childless marriage. I mean, I don't think I could find receipts from what I purchased that was my property a year ago.
And Mr. Gola, in your complaint, you've alleged there's been a breakdown in the marriage relationship to the extent that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed, and there remains no reasonable likelihood the marriage can be preserved. Is that true at the time of trial and still true today?
Yes.
All right, final argument.
Your Honor, again, I think it all comes down to the fact that, again, this was a short-term childless marriage. We had parties who were essentially married, didn't live together full-time until 4 months later. Regardless of what had happened before or however long they dated on or off before, is not a matter to consider. We are talking about what occurred during the marriage. The property here that Mr. Gola has testified to today is premarital property. It was his prior to the marriage. So regardless, that would be his property. That's what we're here discussing. So regardless of dating previously, it doesn't matter. You know, this court made an order that she could stay there for 30 days. She had expressed when we were at that hearing that she had intentions of moving out, so she needed to save up money to go somewhere else. Okay, fine. But I mean, there's also testimony here today that She had left 3 weeks prior, the 17th, whatever it was. But she didn't tell anyone or let anyone know that there was an issue potentially in the home and left animals there. I mean, the reality is that common sense would tell you that doing things like that is going to what? It's going to be harmful to the property, the premarital property of Mr. Gola. So, and regardless of whether there is Mr. Gola is the one who is under the no contact order, not her. She could have let someone else know, Pat needs to get back into his house, there's a bat problem. She could have contacted her office, she's filed her answers and mailed stuff to my office as well. So what happened was we had to wait weeks for him to get back into that home because he had to wait until the court order and he had taken the police with him. And that is the kind of things that you see. And common sense also tells you if you're gonna vacate a property for weeks, you're not gonna leave food out to get moldy and gross. And so, I mean, it's unfortunate, but the reality is Mr. Gola is on a significant amount of property. And it was there when he was last at the home, last resided in the home and last visited the home. We would like the replacement value for that and for the materials to fix the flooring and all the damage that was done. So, again, it's unfortunate that it came to the court seeking a judgment of divorce and that for Ms. Gola to have a monetary judgment against her for the property that she took, that was his property that she was not entitled to, and for all of the damages that she had caused, or for her, just blatant inattention or ignoring that there could be potential issues that resulted in the damage to the property. Because at the end of the day, her negligence still contributed to that. Had he been aware that there was a problem, there was an issue, he could have been back into that home weeks sooner. Maybe that pizza wouldn't have been as disgusting. Maybe that home wouldn't have smelled like feces in urine. So, Your Honor, we would ask that you grant a judgment of divorce. This really is the only issue, and we would also ask that included in the judgment would be the mutual bankruptcy provision as well, Your Honor.
Very well. Final comment.
I just want the divorce, that's all. I don't care.
Based upon the testimony presented, the court finds the statutory grounds for divorce is established. Therefore, judgment of absolute divorce is granted to the plaintiff, Patrick J. Gola, from the defendant, Amanda L. Gola. Before I make a finding relative to assets, Ms. Gola, did you wish to change your surname? Your last name?
Yes.
Okay, and what name are you requesting?
Sure.
How do you spell
SHARPE.
All right. Now, the court will order that neither party's awarded spousal support. That issue is forever barred. Regarding property, first, the parties are awarded the property currently in their possession, except that if the defendant has any of the property that was mentioned from, we know she has the mattress, she testified as such, but all the other property listed, if that is in her possession, she's to turn it over to the defendant. I'm sorry, to the plaintiff within 30 days. If it is not turned over to the plaintiff within 30 days, obviously that would indicate that one, she either doesn't have it or doesn't wish to turn it over, but be that as it may, as the personal property in this case, the testimony of the plaintiff was that when he left that property, these items were there. Defendant had exclusive use of possession of the home for a period of time. Plaintiff was not allowed into the residence. When the plaintiff returned to the residence, he testified that all these items were missing. He's requesting for the personal property $7,500. He believes it should be $9,500. And again, this is based on his word guesstimate. He's also requesting at least $1,500 for the flooring, some of which, according to the testimony, is attributable to defendant's animal. Some may be attributable to the plaintiff's animals as well. But according to Ms. Risky in the testimony, they're only looking for what happened that was a result of defendant's damage, hence $1,500. Order $1,500 to be awarded to the plaintiff for the damage to the residence. I'm not including labor in this case because he's doing it on his own. To the personal property in this matter, this is a very, very short-term marriage. I believe they were married in 23. They were married April of 23, so we're just a little over a year and 4 months. Again, what is being requested is $7,500, which should be $9,500 according to the plan. Receipts that can be provided by the plaintiff indicate an amount of $1,326. That is also awarded to the plaintiff, giving a total of $2,826. Now, when you subtract $7,500 that's being requested by the plaintiff by the $2,826, we have a difference of $4,674. When the court awards any monetary amount, either be for damage or missed property, there has to be something the court can hang its hat on other than guesstimate or estimate. Now, there's no doubt the Blackstone was sold by the defendant for $350. Sounds like it's a marital asset. The mattress was taken. We don't have a value on that, but the mattress was taken as well. The toaster and air fryer. Court is going to order, before I go to the final total here, that the keys currently in the possession of the defendant and the garage remote are to be returned to the plaintiff within 7 days. Relative to the rest of the personal property, deficit being $4,674. Court will order $2,337 plaintiff, which represents half of the $4,674 deficit. So I'm giving the $7,500 some credence, but not total. Total judgment to the plaintiff, $5,163. You have any idea, soon to be Ms. Sharp, when that can be paid?
No, I am broke, completely broke, and he knows that, so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to order that it be done within 6 months. In the event that it is not done within 6 months, I can file a show cause and we can address it at that time and we'll address it accordingly. Otherwise, that is the ruling of the court regarding this matter. Ms. Risky, how much time do you need to prepare the judgment report?
Probably get it to you Monday, Tuesday. My office is closed on Friday, so, within 7 days, I mean, that won't even be a problem.
Let's make the divorce judgment due by September 13th. If it is not due, if it is not provided to the court on September 13th.
Your Honor, you would like me to just do that under a 7-day order?
You can do that.
Okay.
That's up to you. But if there is no judgment in the file by September 13th, both parties and counsel need to be back in court at 9 a.m. to explain why not.
Okay, my only issue will be I don't have a way to contact soon to be Ms. Sharp. I don't have an updated mailing address. So.
Can you provide that information to her so she can provide you a copy of the judgment?
Yes.
Can you do that today?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that privately.
Yes, but I'll order it that it be done today in private and provide. Do you have any other questions regarding the judgment or anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Miss, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, and I will state the divorce judgment includes property division that I outlined on the record just a moment ago. There are no pensions. There is no life insurance carrying cash value. Finally, the defendant has restored the surname of Sharp, S-H-A-R-P. That will conclude the proceedings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, everyone. And you're welcome. Ms. Harris, we take the patience.